42 years, 7 years in HillCrest and another 13, 14 in Country Club Hills. What I really want to say is that I don't know Dean and Coach Sutton very well personally. I'm president of the NAACP, but I know of Sutton, the things that he has done, the things that I've read about, the things that I've seen, what the people have talked about, the children that he has mentored. You know, and the week before the incident occurred, we were supposed to get together and work on something together. I'm president, like I said, in NAACP, and I just think that I was out here with my nephews and my great-nephews, and they said, well, where you going on? Because they were sitting there waiting for me. And I came up, told them I'm coming up here to speak up about somebody. And, well, what about it? I said, well, I kind of remind him of Michael Jordan in the community. You know, Sutton is a legend in this community for what he has done to help these kids. And like Michael Jordan, everybody else, people make mistakes. So I'm here because I'm capable of making mistakes too. And but I know 99% of what I've heard of him, before I read what I read in the newspaper, has been nothing but super positive. And when we met, you know, I just was overjoyed and honored to talk to him and come together on some issues. And to lose somebody like Coach and Dean Sutton in our community would be devastating, not only for the residents, but for the kids and for the people that he has mentored all these years. So I'm asking you to consider that weight on how it's going to affect not only him, but the communities and the kids of the past and future that's been in this school. Thank you.
Miss Tamara Young from Country Club Hills.
Good evening. My name is Tamara Young. I'm a parent, I'm an educator, and I'm speaking on behalf of the Principal Parent Advisory. I know Dean Coach Sutton as a parent who, if my child is doing something he don't have no business doing, I can call Dean Sutton, he'll take care of it. He understands that these children are student athletes. He's with them on and off the field. And when you make your decisions, your personnel decisions, I hope you make it based on what's good for students. We need good people to be with our kids, to support them, academically, behaviorally, all around. And if we lose good people like Coach Sutton, we lose our kids. I am in this school quite often, and I don't know a lot of people, but the people I do know has impacted me and my son. And I hate to lose a person who is good for our kids. And I would like to leave with saying, all of us have sinned and fallen short of the glory of the
God.
Lord.
There you go.
Okay? And so we need to think about that as a people, as educators, and being responsible for our children.
Mr. Herbert Offord.
Good evening. I stand here, a proud graduate of HillCrest and proud son of football of Coach Sutton. He's a great man, good mentor, and a good role model for people who have been through here and the people who are coming. Now I say, if anybody deserves another chance that would be Mr. Ernest Sutton.
Ms. Kenya Salahuddin from HillCrest.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Kenya Salahuddin, and I have, actually I just have one son that graduated, one that's coming in, and one that's still here. I just wanted to say, I don't know Coach Sutton personally, and I don't want to be redundant, but it's kind of hard, you know, not to do that. But I'll say that my children have, you know, told me personally, you know, how he have helped them in different ways, you know, and just like the other parent mentioned about, you know, if they get in trouble, yes, he will get on them. So he's fair, you know, he's fair and just, and he's someone that they can rely on, you know, if they do need assistance. And I just wanted to just point out, I mean, in our government, I mean, how many times have, you know, our politicians made mistakes, and we have forgiven them over and over and over again. So, you know, to be human is to err. And that's all I have to say, pretty much.
I apologize for butchering the names. I'm trying. Thank you. This one I can handle. Mr. Theo Chapman.
Oh. You ain't got no 4-page letter, do you?
Good evening. My name is Theo Chapman, and as a graduate of HillCrest, an active parent with the Principal Advisory Committee and the Alumni Association, as a probation officer with Cook County Sheriff of Probation and Court Services, I see the harmful effects of all kinds of things, including alcohol, drugs, narcotics, abuse, and addiction as it relates to clients, their family, and the community as a whole. Addiction is a disease and it's not discriminatory. Anyone, even those we respect, love, or hold in high regard, can become addicted in some regards, whether it be cigarettes, alcohol, prescription, or narcotic drugs, or other bad habits. The courts have come to the understand, through those of us that work in the community, that punishing those battling with illnesses, whatever it be, or bad habits, is not the answer. As a union steward and the People's Chair for Local 3477 asked me, I've had to counsel many of my own members through the use of things that they're battling with, even as their family members battle. In the case of Mr. Sutton, from a macro perspective, as a professional, he has taught, mentored, and helped shape the lives of hundreds of children, many of whom, like my own child, are productive citizens in society. Because Mr. Sutton's positive presence and impact extends well beyond the school, the community, and this state, it is well within this governing body's right to issue sanctions, mandates, and conditions for the lapse maybe in judgment. By our vote, your presence on this board and the rights we afforded you enables this body to facilitate the redemption and the opportunity for Mr. Sutton to regain the honor and responsibility that comes with mentoring others, and the opportunity to utilize his shortcomings to educate others via community service to both young and old. Perhaps what should be the focus of this governing body as it relates to Mr. Sutton should not be for the sole purpose of a prosecution, but to invoke the opportunity for intervention. Consider Mr. Sutton's good deeds as a Christian, as a father, a professional, a mentor, a coach, a dean, youth advocate, all far outweigh his personal fault. Thank you.
Come on now.
Mr. John Casson from Plainfield.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is John Casson. I'm from Plainfield, Illinois. I'm here to speak on behalf of Ernest Sutton. Thank you for allowing us to speak here today. Mr. Chapman, that was outstanding. Very well said. I'm here to speak about Coach Sutton, Dean Sutton, Ernest Sutton. Not only is a brother, a longtime brother, a longtime friend, a colleague, a peer, a former head coach here at Bremen High School in multiple sports, but football as the love, of course, and a current college coach. Integrity, character, and loyalty, in my opinion, are probably the three greatest competencies a person can have. Coach Sutton, you have all three. He's a mentor. He is wonderful with the kids. We've all made mistakes. There's no question about it. I'm not going to repeat that. We all know what it is. But you can't get any better than Ernest Sutton. He's great for this community, ladies and gentlemen. He needs to be in this community. I came out from all the way from Plainfield for a reason, to let all you guys know, all you great people out here, you've got a great one. And we need to keep the great ones. Thank you and have a nice night.
Mr. Darrell Hobson.
Good evening. My name is Darrell Hobson, and I'd like to thank you for allowing me the opportunity to address this body. I'm here to support Mr. Ernest Sutton. I've known Mr. Sutton for over 20 years, during which he's been my teammate, my friend, and my mentor. I stand before you here as a decorated coach, decorated educator, decorated administrator, a husband, celebrated my 13-year anniversary yesterday, and a father of two incredibly gifted children. And those are in part due to the good counsel that I've received over the years from Ernest Sutton. That in no way makes me unique, as you all know. He's touched the lives of several young people over the years as an educator and a coach. During times when I wanted to get some coaching pointers or others, I'd come to practice and games, and during which I was extremely impressed with how Ernie could form these bonds and connections with the young people he was charged with leading. I patterned some of my techniques after him. And just as I have, Ernie's been rewarded with countless positive stories from these young people, because some of his former students have gone on to be extremely productive. We've heard some here tonight. His current students will undoubtedly do the same. These times are crucial for young people. We've heard and read far too many stories where young people fail to navigate life's tough terrain without adequate guidance and mentorship. My prayer is that you do not remove this important part of the Hillcrest community. Mr. Ernest Sutton is an integral part of this community. Thank you.
Reverend Charles Dockery from Richton Park.
Good evening. My name is Charles Dockery. I come wearing 5 hats this evening. First of all, an associate pastor for Trinity United Church of Christ, Gary. I'm also a business partner, Team Challenge Youth Foundation with Coach Sutton. We started it in 2000. We left the Chicago Tribune, great jobs to give back to the community. We sacrificed a whole bunch of money to come and work in the community, but that's not important. That's not why I'm here today. I'm also executive director of the Calumet Memorial Park District. I was a coach here for 10 years, but more importantly, I'm Coach Sutton's friend. He's a friend of mine, and I'm here to support him. If I was in the pulpit this evening, what I would say is, I'd get a board out and I'd start writing on the board. And on that board, I'd write every mistake and every bad choice that each one of us made. And we would start leaving one at a time. And I'd turn around and no one would be in the room. And Coach Sutton would say, is there anybody here left to judge me? And I'd say, no. And I judge you not either. But don't do it again. I preach a gospel of restorative justice. That simply means restoring a person back to where they were. See, in the Eastern culture, well, first of all, in the Western culture, we are taught to abandon someone when they make a mistake. We want to put an older person, once they get too old, we want to put them in a senior home. When a person commits a crime, we want to throw them in jail. But in the Eastern culture, it's more of a community. We want to restore that person back to the community. We want to assess what happened. We want to give them treatment, and then we want to restore them. That's what we want to do tonight. See, the reason we're here and the reason all these people are in the room tonight, because it's about community. Coach Sutton is an important part of this community, and we don't want to lose Coach Sutton from this community. Sure, it was a tragedy. Bad things happen. But a tragedy is nothing but a triumph waiting to happen. So we're going to turn this tragedy into a triumph. This was just a setback for Coach Sutton to set up to do something greater. See, we've all made a mistake. Coach Sutton made a mistake, but he's not a mistake. See, he's not a mistake at all. See, what you don't know is all the mentoring that he's done, all the tutoring that he's done. You don't understand what Team Challenge has done for the community. See, he has an opportunity right now to restore himself. Sure, he made a mistake, and sure, there's some punishment that has to come with it. But we have a bigger opportunity here. We can use this mistake to let him mentor kids. Let him do public speaking, speaking to players, speaking to students, speaking to the community, doing community service, doing pastoral counseling. Perhaps he needs pastoral counseling. Perhaps he needs psychological counseling. Perhaps he needs a dependency program. But we don't want to kick him to the curb. We want to restore him back to the community. He is a fixture in the community. Once again, this tragedy can be a triumph. You know, you've seen his record, sure. We can judge him by his record, his won and lost record on the football field. We can judge him by his record in court. But what you have not seen is the thousands of kids that he's helped. You don't realize that for 14 years, he had a free football clinic for over 200 kids. That's over 2,800 kids he served. You don't understand the father figure that he's been to these kids. You guys have not been there when a kid has lost a parent, and now the kid comes to school crying, and he needs advice, and he'll go to Coach Sutton, and Coach Sutton will be that father figure. He's a community leader. He's made a difference in a bunch of lives, and we cannot throw him to the curb. We love him too much, and we're here, and we appeal to you that you consider keeping Coach Sutton as a coach and as dean of student. But more than anything, keep him as a community leader. And I thank you for your time, and hopefully I stayed under 5 minutes. But as a minister, you know, what can I say?
At the risk of upstaging our last speaker, we have another pastor, Ms. Charlotte Williams.
Oh, wow. You gonna get it?
Thank you. To the body, thank you for allowing me to come up. Yeah, I'm a pastor. I can dress like this. I don't have to wear a 32-piece suit. But ye who without sin cast the first stone. That's the word. Mr. Sutton, you are a wonderful man. I'm going to speak to him because if I speak to him, you'll know what I'm talking about. Mr. Sutton, my sons respect you so much. He wanted to be here tonight to speak on your behalf, but you know how Uriah is. He might go off a little bit. But I want to thank you personally for instilling in my children and the rest of the community and the kids some great factors. You show respect. To show adults respect, because in this day and time, some kids just don't care. They just overlook us. The times my son brought his video camera to school, you called me out of respect. When he drew those pictures of you and the rest of his teachers, when he made that video in the school, and you called me. For Mr. Sutton to leave here, you would be missing a great part of history, because he has made history in this school. He has made history many times with the parents. He's made history many times when he comes to meetings he doesn't have to be at. When I grabbed him in the hallway, he has always had time for me. When I call deans, they always have time for the parents. You know, as a culture, and I hate to bring this up, we don't usually stick together, but for us to come together like this means a lot. And we should take this to heart, that this man must be somebody special. God knew you 2,000 years ago, and he knew at this time, at this moment, at this season, this was going to happen. And he had people standing in the gap to help you. So, man of God, I just speak over you now that tonight is your deliverance from all of this. And for you not to allow him to be delivered from this problem and this what he went through, because he's suffering himself. So for him to be suffering, we shouldn't put any more on him. So, just go ahead and do what you need to do to reinstall him. I guess that's the word, the verbiage. Reinstall him back into the school. Thank you.
Amen.
Mr. Malcolm Davenport from Riverdale.